Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So it's been a while since I have sat down and just talked to you. I've been doing a lot of interviews, and there are a lot more interviews to come. So I'm going to be talking to people who are struggling with addiction, people who are struggling getting out of abusive relationships. I'll be talking to a lot more men about what it is to be masculine, about what it is to be a man, and a whole lot of different types of interviews and topics are going to be coming your way. So I just kind of wanted to preface that before I get into today's video. You're going to see me talking to a lot of people. Now, if you are interested in sharing a personal story, something that you think can empower someone, something that you think could uplift someone, if you have a story that you can share, that you would like to share, and you think that story can just really help to spark something, spark some type of change in someone's life, then please reach out to me. My email address is right there on my YouTube page. You can also contact me on Instagram, and I will be more than happy to sit down with you and to have a conversation with you, not just about what you've been through, but how can we talk about it in such a way that it can be used to inspire someone to see some sort of change in their life, because that's the goal of this channel. It's to engage in conversations with different people from all walks of life who would like to share their story, and then hopefully someone who comes across the story is able to gather something from it, take away something from it, that it can have that kind of impact on their lives. So what I want to discuss today is I've had the opportunity recently, and really for the last many years, but more so most recently, I've had the opportunity to talk to a couple women about certain things that's going on in their relationships, or to have one or two people share with me, situations that their friends might be in, with regards to being in really dead end relationships with certain type of guys. So I think so. I wrote some notes, and I'm gonna reference my notes because it kind of hit me last night, and I was like, oh, this is what I want to talk about, and I didn't want to forget it, and so I'm a note taker, right? So I take a lot of notes. Because there are times that you just need to remember certain things, and I like to write things down because I feel like if you don't, it gets away from you sometimes. So look, there are sometimes women find themselves in situations where they care so much, right? And I know of a couple people in this situation right now where they care so much about about the other person, and they love the other person so much that they don't even realize that they don't really care about themselves that much, right? So have you ever found yourself in a situation, and at some point maybe you became woke, but have you ever found yourself in a situation where you realize that you have invested so much in someone, right? You have put so much into someone, invested so much time, so much money, so much energy. It's almost like they have taken a part of your soul into someone, only to realize that while you were investing in this person, you were neglecting yourself, right? You were neglecting yourself because you've put so much into them. And sometimes people are doing this because they're trying to get someone to change. You know, I know a couple people in a situation right now where they're hoping, especially this one person, where she's hoping that maybe magically somehow this guy is gonna come around, like hoping that magically somehow this guy is gonna change, or whatever the case is. And what she has allowed is she has allowed herself to become what I call a role player, right? Some women allow themselves to become role players. And so by role players, what I mean is she now just plays a small role in his life. In other words, This guy has other women. Is there other people that he's dealing with? But for whatever reason, she allows him to walk in and out of her life, right? She allows him to walk in and out of her life. And part of the reason why he's able to do it is because they have kids. And so that strategically allows him to position himself for opportunities to walk in and out of her life. But she allows him to walk in and out of her life. And so, for me, she has reduced herself to becoming nothing more than a role player. And the role she plays is that she provides him with sex, and he uses sex as a tool, as a mechanism, as something that he knows that they have a certain type of connection sexually. And so he takes advantage of that, and then she becomes the role player, and then she allows him to walk in and out of her life. And that's kind of the situation where there is. And now she's found herself, I believe, she's found herself living in a fantasy, right? She's living in a fantasy, thinking that her present headache, right? She's living in this fantasy, and she's thinking that her present headache represents the best hope for her future. So I'm going to repeat that. She's living in this fantasy, thinking that she's going to allow this person to walk in and out of her life, and they have sex, and she feels a certain way, or there's a certain type of connection, there's a certain empowerment that he perhaps realizes that he has over her because of the kids, because of the sexual connection, and because of she cares so much about him. She doesn't realize she doesn't care about herself in a certain type of way or the same way, because she's reduced herself to a role player. So now what has happened is she's let this man put her in this situation where she's living in this fantasy, and she's thinking that the present headache that she has, and he's the headache, she's thinking that the present headache that she has is the best representation, or is her best opportunity. It represents the best opportunity for her to have a bright future. All right? So your present headache has now become the brightest, or represents the brightest opportunity for you to have a bright future. You're looking at your best hope. Your best hope for the future is your present headache. And that could be a problem, right? And so what this guy has come to realize is that he can waltz his way in and out of her life. And he does it. He waltzes his way in and out of her life. He uses sex as a weapon, as I said, because he has that connection with her. And so you've got to realize that. I think a lot of women need to realize that you can't let someone show up when it's convenient to them, and don't hold them to any particular type of standard, because what you're encouraging, right? What you're encouraging is your unhappiness. When you allow someone to do what they want to do because you think they're going to leave, when in all retrospect, look, they've already left. If someone is not living with you, they only show up maybe once a week or on a weekend to see their child or whatever the case is, and you're conveniently providing them with opportunities for sex or whatever, thinking that they're going to come back, they've already left. They've checked out mentally. What you get is to have a certain sense of physical enjoyment from them when you see them. But mentally, they've already left. They've already checked out. And so if you think they're going to come back, right? If you think that this person is going to come back when you haven't set any boundaries and you're allowing them to waltz in and out of your life, then you're in for one of those 1 in 100 type of situations, right? One in 100 type of situations where it probably works out for you, and I've said you've gotten to the point now where you're thinking your best hope for the future is the headache that you now have, right? So the person that presents you with all of the headache somehow is the best representation and the best hope for your future. And I don't think, but doing a lot of coaching and talking to a lot of people, a lot of women who've been in situations like this, I realize, boy, when you've allowed someone to get a certain part of your soul, to get inside of your skin, to when you've allowed yourself to really just love someone in so much, as I've said, sometimes to the point where you don't even realize you care about them more than you care about yourself. And you know how you know that? You care about them more because you can't wait to see them. You can't wait to dress up for them. You can't wait to give them things that will please them, sex or otherwise, or cook for them, or whatever the case is. But you now love this person more than you love you, because when they leave, when they don't come, when they don't whatever, you spend all those moments, all those weeks, all those months, whatever, crying, right? You spend those lonely moments regretting everything that you have done, right? Regretting the pain that they cause you, regretting the, and you let them do it over and over and over and over again. And that's when you know it's probably gotten to the point where, you know what, you have now loved someone more than you have loved yourself. And you've allowed someone to trample in your life and on your life. And you've reduced yourself to a role player. And when you've reduced yourself to like a bench player and you only coming off the bench. So this man basically has you as a bench player, right? How many of you women are a bench player? Where you only get off the bench when he puts you on the floor. That's when you get to play. And you know, I've heard some women say, well, you know, yeah, he might be doing so, so, and so, but you know, he's still coming over here and get it anyway. I mean, girl, you still a bench player. All of you are on the bench because none of it's like he's got no starters. He has all role players, and all of you are playing a role. And you know, and in that role, you are reduced. You have reduced yourself to just, you know, reduced yourself to just being that bench player. And I mean, how many people really want to just be a bench player? How many people actually want to be the star, right? But if you allow people to run in and out of your life and you don't set boundaries and all that sort of stuff, then you're reducing yourself to the bench, to being a bench player, to being a role player. And that's not the situation that anyone wants to be in, right? You've got to choose happiness. You have to choose happiness. So I think I've said enough on this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, interviews are coming. If there's anyone out there who'd like to be interviewed, please contact me. Let me know if you want to share your story. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button. I would appreciate it a whole lot if you do so. The purpose of this channel is for all of us to grow, to learn, to educate each other, and to see how we could become better people. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch. I know you could be watching anyone else's channel, so I appreciate the support. Don't forget to share the videos as I'm trying to grow the channel. Thank you and have a blessed day, and until next time, peace.